Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 1 p.m. webinar, levels 4 to 5. So you can see it's only me today. Usually we have two people. I'm sure some of you are really happy because you're like, yay, we love Jadene, now we only have Jadene. And maybe the rest of you are less happy, but hopefully not. But because it's just me alone today, anyone who is here and who decides to watch, it would be amazing if you comment and interact with me as much as possible, because all of my time is for you, and it makes my job so much more fun when there is someone to talk to. So I can see one person watching. I'm going to introduce myself a bit better. And it would be great if you introduce yourself too. So you can tell me your name. If my comments work, you can tell me where you are. You can tell me where you're from. So my name is Jadene, and you can see it here. This is my name. The E at the end is silent. I am 25 years old. I am from London in England, and at the moment I'm in Italy, and I have been living in Milan since October. So I think that's 6 months, maybe nearly 7 now. I can't really remember. So whoever is watching, please write in the comments, let me know who you are, and maybe we can be friends. So today for our focus activity, we are doing a night at the cinema. And this is great for anyone who likes movies. I know I like movies because we'll be talking a lot about different types of movies and ways we can describe them, which is really exciting and really good for our vocabulary. Okay. So a night at the cinema. In this focus activity, we will be looking at going to the movie theater, buying tickets, and food/drinks. So the slash, this symbol just means or. So food/drinks, food or drinks. And also talking about different movies. Hi, Ludovica. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce it, but it's nice to meet you. How are you today? And how are you enjoying the quarantine? And already we have something we can talk about on this slide, because in the first bullet point, it says going to the movie theater. And movie theater is the same as a cinema. I think maybe the first one might be a bit more American, or maybe just slightly more old-fashioned. But you can say either movie theater or cinema. So another question for you is, do you go to the cinema often? Okay. And then we have a task. So this is a simple matching task, which I'm sure that you have seen before and are familiar with. So on the left, we have some different genres. Okay, so names for different genres. And a genre is what we call a type of film, but it can also be used to describe other types of entertainment, like books. So genre is a bit of a strange word. I'm sure that in my English accent I ruin it a bit. The genre is actually a French word. So it's a word that we have stolen from the French language. English people have a habit of stealing things from other places. But that's for a different webinar. And yes, okay, you go to the cinema often. Amazing. So I'm assuming then that you enjoy films. So you can tell me, Ludovica, which of these genres on the left do you like or do you usually watch? Because for me personally, I'll read through all of them in a second so that you can hear the pronunciation. But I really like comedies. I watch a lot of comedies and some documentaries and some dramas as well. I think my favorite type is a drama. So which is your favorite genre? And if you don't want to answer that, that's okay. You can also start with the matching task. Oh, and Olga is here as well. Hi, how are you? I was saying earlier, Olga, I was a bit worried because I am here alone today, but I'm glad that you're here as well because I know that you are very interactive, which means you guys are going to keep me busy, which is great. So we're just talking about film and movie genres. So Olga, you can tell me as well as Ludovica, which genres do you like and which genres do you know, or you can start with this matching task. So the genres we have on the left are comedy, horror, action, cartoon, documentary, drama, science fiction, and romance. And just be careful with this word because I'm sure as well you know that in English we don't pronounce every letter. So with documentary, we don't really pronounce the A. We don't say documentary because it's too long. No one wants to spend this much time saying a word. So we say documentary. Okay. So your favorite genre, okay, my favorite genre is cartoon, in particular Disney cartoons. Yes, so I love Disney as well. I think everyone loves Disney. I don't have Disney Plus, which is making me very sad because I want to watch all of the old films. What is your favorite Disney movie? And also, so just one point is for both of you to know as well. The way you spelt favorite is fine, but this is the American spelling. If you spell it the English way, it has a U. So maybe sometimes you will see both spellings, both are acceptable. And Olga is good, but you miss all the teachers. Yes, we miss you guys too. We can't wait to go back to school. And well done as well, because A is a cartoon. So a cartoon or an animation as well in movies is something that someone has drawn or created using software, so not with real people. So then what is letter B? As we have B, a picture of someone who looks, I think, like a superhero. So usually in movies like this with the cape behind them, the main character, the good character, is the hero or the superhero. And the bad character or the evil character is a villain. So we have heroes and villains. Okay, and Olga, excellent. So we've said B is an action, yes. So where there's lots of fighting, there's lots of physical movement. C is a comedy. I feel sorry for this guy, but yeah, I think for everyone watching, it's very funny. So comedies are things that make us laugh. They are funny. If something is funny, it makes you laugh. So this is different to fun. If something is funny, it makes you laugh. If something is fun, then it's just an enjoyable situation. So be careful with the difference, okay? And well done as well, Ludwika, yes. So B, action. C, comedy. D is romance, of course, where all the love is. And then, do we have any for E? Yes, Olga has said science fiction. So something like Star Wars or Galaxy Quest, something set in space that is not real. So then F, we have a very scary scene of someone's hand. I don't know if this person is the villain or the victim. So the victim is someone who has something bad happen to them. So the villain does the bad thing, the victim has it happen to them. So yes, this is a horror movie. And then, exactly, well done, girls. G is a documentary. So a documentary is something that is based on something that's true, not even based on something that's true, something that is true. So if I go outside in Milan and I start recording, oh, look at Milan in the quarantine, this is a documentary because it's real. It's real people and real events. And finally, we have a drama. And a drama is just kind of a generic genre where lots of things happen all the time. No one's life is peaceful and calm. Everyone's life is exciting and maybe not always in a good way, but there is always something happening and always a problem that needs to be solved. So Olga has said, I love stand-up and comedy. So there is a slight difference between, well, actually, comedy is everything that makes you laugh. And stand-up comedy is when there is one person on stage with a microphone telling jokes for the audience. And I think probably this is very scary to do, to just be standing there and trying to make people laugh. So it's very cool when people are good at it. And I think you need a lot of confidence as well. So girls, tell me a bit more about the films you like. Olga, do you have a favorite stand-up comedian or comic? These are the same words. You can be a comic or you can be a comedian. And which of these genres as well do you not like? So I'm still waiting to hear what Ludwika's favorite Disney movie is. Yeah, which do you not like? So for me, I'd say I don't really like horror films. Well, maybe I like some films that are a bit scary, but if the whole thing is just to make you feel scared, I hate it. And I do like cartoons, but no, I love films. I love all films. So I'm not very good at this question. Olga likes Kevin Hart. I like Kevin Hart too. He's such a tiny man. I really like him in Jumanji, which is, I guess, an action. And I also like him in a film called Ride Along with Ice Cube, which is also an action comedy. So sometimes as well, genres can blend into each other. So maybe a film is not just one genre completely. Maybe a film is an action comedy or a romantic comedy. So we call those rom-coms. Or maybe it's a comedy and a drama or a romance and a drama and no one is laughing. Um, you don't like horror films either? No, they're horrible. But I really like classic films, so old films. So old horrors, like the ones by Hitchcock, I really liked. Um, and I also like films by Quentin Tarantino, which I don't think are horrors, but there are a lot of horrific scenes in the films. So maybe for some people they're a bit scary. But well done, ladies. So we said which genre is your favorite. Olga has told us comedy, and Ludovica says she likes cartoons. Oh my god, I'm the same. So Olga says, very often when I joke with my friends, so we need the preposition with, they don't laugh, and it's terrible. I don't know how the stand-up comics do it. No, me either. When I was younger, this was a big problem. I would tell a lot of jokes and people do not laugh. And especially now in Italy, I tell jokes with my Italian friends, and maybe my humor is very British, so they don't understand why what I'm saying is funny. But I think it's funny, so I laugh, and it's okay. um, but yeah, it is. It's a terrible, terrible feeling when people do not laugh at your jokes. You have to find different friends, maybe, Olga. Um, yes, with my friends. And then my friends don't laugh because don't forget, we need the subject all the time. So I need to know who is not laughing. Is it you or your friends? Yes, Pulp Fiction is great. There's another movie, I think my favorite one by him, which is called Death Proof. And it's kind of like a chick flick. So a chick flick is like a movie stereotypically for women. So yeah, there are just lots of main female characters, but I love them. Love them. And Olga doesn't like horror movies either. No. No, we don't like them. Okay, so now we have another task. I'm going to show you some pictures, and I want you to tell me which genre the film is. So the first one is a movie poster for Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. So this is the 6th movie in the Harry Potter franchise. Because I'm not sure, maybe if in Italian, it probably has a different name, but I don't know how different the name is. If it's just a direct translation or if it's completely something else. So this is a 6th movie, and I want you to tell me which genre it is. And at the top, underneath where it says, what genres are these movies? It says, I think it's a or an. So don't forget, we use the article an if the noun that follows sounds like a vowel. Okay? So for example, the only one in this list would be an action movie. And we use a if the noun that follows sounds like a consonant. And I say sounds because sometimes words that begin with an H sound like a vowel. For example, an hour. So like the time, I'll see you in an hour. Even though it starts with an H, it sounds like an O. So we would say an and not a. But here with horror, it sounds like an H. So we would say a horror. And this is great. So yes, a fantasy movie. Yeah, Yeah, we can say fantasy. So if something is fantasy, it's like really crazy fiction with magic and yeah, things that are not ever possible in real life, I think, that have been brought to life in this movie or book. So perfect. Fantasy is not on the list, but Harry Potter is definitely a fantasy. Um, we could also say, probably I would say Harry Potter, it can be dramatic. So it could be a bit of a drama. Also, there's lots of action in it and lots of comedy. And in the sixth movie, and in the fifth movie, and in the seventh movie, a little bit scary. So probably it's not a horror, but it is scary. Okay. So then the next one, Ludovica, maybe you'll know this one. So how to train your dragon. So I think we can we can see from the image, it's at least one of these genres, but maybe you think it's another genre as well. So let me know. Maybe. So is it a comedy? Is it a horror? Is it an action? And also, like Ludovica did, so I think it's A. Um, try to use this language as well, because when we say um, I think can either be speculation, which is something you're guessing. So if you haven't seen this movie, when you say I think, you're speculating or guessing what it's about. If you have seen this movie, then I think it's showing that it's your opinion, is what I think. So whether you have or haven't seen this film, um, you can use this language in both situations or in both contexts. So I have seen this film, and for me, I think that How to Drain Your Dragon is definitely a cartoon. Um, but I also think that is a romance because I know there are two characters in it that definitely have some kind of special relationship, more than just friends. And I would say this is romantic. Um, yeah, I think that's it. So if you have any opinions, girls, let me know. And then the next one we have is Titanic. And I hate this film. I don't think I've ever seen the entire film, but I think Titanic is very boring. Every time I have tried to watch it, I have fallen asleep. So it's very boring because it makes me feel very, very bored. So I don't know if you have seen this movie. I don't know if you like this movie. Uh, but let me know if you have any opinions on it. And also what genre you think it is. So now I'm going to use, I think, to speculate because I haven't seen the whole movie. So I don't know for sure. But I think Titanic is a romance because it's about these two characters very in love. But I think also is not a comedy. Maybe it's a drama because there is the whole iceberg and they have to escape the boat. There's a lot happening. So we can say, I think that it's a drama. Oh, and Ludovica, you have not seen How to Train Your Dragon. It's a very sweet movie. It's very nice. Um, we can say a movie that makes you feel a little bit emotional. Maybe we can say it's a heartfelt something. So it's a heartfelt cartoon, it's a heartfelt comedy, something like this. And also Ludovica, if we use the present simple, so I don't watch, for like routine. So a habit that you have, I don't do this, I don't watch this cartoon. But if we want to talk about an experience in our whole lives, we use, don't worry too much, but we use something called the present perfect. And we would say, I haven't seen this movie or this cartoon. And you can just use that phrase for anything that you haven't done. I haven't been to this restaurant. I haven't seen this movie. But don't stress too much about it. Just to make you aware for now. So August says romance. And I think it can be a documentary because it's a real story. But when we watch this movie, it doesn't look like a documentary. So don't forget, we need the articles Olga, A or an. Yes, so Titanic is not a documentary because the characters, okay, the protagonists, Jack and I think Rose, they did not exist in real life. So the story is fiction, so not real. But we can say it's a movie based on true events or based on a true story, blah, blah, blah. And when we say something is based on, we mean it's inspired by. So the true story of Titanic inspired me to think of this romance story between Jack and Rose. So the characters of fiction is not a documentary, but it is based on a true story. So in a documentary, everything is real, including the people. Okay, and then oh my goodness, there are so many. Okay, maybe we'll just do 2 more, or maybe 1 more. I think we can move on. But this movie, I don't know if you've ever seen it. Olga, I have a feeling that you'd like it if you have seen it. This is part of a trilogy, which means there are 3 films in the set. And it's part of the Hangover trilogy. If you haven't seen this movie, you can guess and tell me what you think the genre is. You have 3 men, and one of them is carrying a baby, wearing sunglasses that are far too big for its head. You have this man who looks confused and dirty on the right, and he's missing a tooth. Exactly. So Ludovica says, I think it's a comedy. Definitely. So something terrible has happened to these men, but for us to watch it, it makes us laugh. It's very funny. And anyone who doesn't know what a hangover is when you spend the night drinking lots of alcohol and the next day you feel awful. So let me know, guys, if you drink alcohol, and if you do, when was the last time you were hungover? Have you ever had a hangover really bad and you thought of the night before? And did you have events as bad as these guys? I hope for you, no. Exactly. I had a feeling you would like it, Olga. Yes, it's a comedy. It's very, very funny. Um, so now we have a small quiz, and it's all about time. Okay, so the first question we have in the quiz is, what can we call film times? So, of course, one thing we can call them in the question is film times. You can say, oh, what time shall we go to the movie? I'm not sure. I need to check the film times. But what else can we call this? It's a bit unusual, so don't worry if you don't know it. Um, maybe you've heard of it before. If I bring up the answers, but if you haven't heard of it, it's not really a problem. So here we have a picture of the film timetable or the film schedule. So we have the different dates. It's a very small picture. But we have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then you have in the morning, in the evening, and you have the names of the films. And we call this showtimes or showings. So film times, showtimes, showings is fine. You can ask, oh, when are the showtimes if you are at the cinema? Okay, and then this one I know you guys know because I have seen you use it. But film is more British English. If I say I'm going to watch a film, but what do they say in America? So what do they call a film in American English? And I know I've seen Olga use this. Even I have used this word, and I'm British. So these rules are not incredibly strict. It doesn't mean that because I'm from the UK, I cannot say this word. Do you mean that you can't see the picture or you can't see the screen at all? Because if you can't see the picture, it's okay. It's not really so important. The picture was just of a film timetable. It's difficult for me to see as well. But we can call the times of the films film times or show times or showings. But this is the most important part of that question. Don't worry, the picture has no real useful information. It's fine. As long as you understand that you can say film times or show times, this is fine. They all mean the same word. And then we have the next question, which is, what is another word for film that's more American English? Do you have any ideas, girls? So, we call them movies. So yeah, like I said, I use both. I say film, I say movie. They mean exactly the same thing. And now we have some questions about actual time. So let me know if you can see this picture. It's very small. I think I'm just going to disappear for a second. No, that made absolutely no. Sorry, I'm not sure why my screen is so tiny. Is it bigger? Okay. Just in case you can't see it. Here we have a clock that says the number's 10. And so the hour is 10 and the minutes are 45. So in English, we can either say this in two different ways. So we can say the time is 10:45. Like this. So we say the hour and then we say the minute. Or we can say the time is 11:45. So if you ever see, yes, exactly, Ludovica. Yes, you can say it's 11:45, or you can just say it's 11:45. So if you ever see a time where the minute is 45, you can say it's 1:45, and then the next hour. Really well done. Okay, so then in the next picture, we have this one, which I think is a bit clearer, but just in case, I'll write it for you. So the hour is 8 and there are no minutes. So how do we say this? Do I say, if I ask you what the time is, and this is the time? Perfect. So you're great with time. So we can either say it's 8 o'clock, or some people like to say 8 on the dot. On the dot just means exactly this time. This is like a colloquial or a really casual way to say it. But it's nice if you want to mix up your language, or you can also just say it's 8. It's fine. Okay, so then what about the next one? Ooh. So, so August says, oh my God, I have never heard anyone say 1:45. Okay, well, 1:45 is really, really common. So just be aware. Maybe you don't have to say it if you don't want to, but make sure that you're aware other people might want to say it. So if they say it to you, you understand what they mean. And exactly, so Ludovica says for the next one, if anything is 30 minutes past the hour, we can say it's 8:30, or we can also say it's 8:30. Sometimes you don't have to say past because everyone knows what you mean. Or you can say it's 8:30. This is also an option. And then we'll just go through the next one. So here we have two different options or two different methods of paying for movie tickets or for other things. So what do we call them? What is the difference? So the one on the left is obviously money, but the word we use for physical money begins with a C. So I'll just wait a minute to see if your comments come in. And then the one on the right is plastic, but the word we use for this also begins with a C. And both words are 4 letters long. So we call the physical money cash. We can say, can I pay by cash? Do you accept cash? And the one on the right is card. So this can be a credit card or a debit card. It doesn't matter. We call them all cards. Okay. I'm back. But the screen is again really small, so I vanish. So here we have a conversation between a customer, so a client, someone who wants to buy a ticket, to purchase a ticket. And, oh, well done, Lisa. So your comment has come in late, but yes, we had cash and card. So we have a conversation between a customer who wants to buy a ticket and between the attendant and an attendant, or we can say the staff or the the cinema attendant, fine, who is the person who will sell the ticket. Okay, so the but the problem is this conversation is in the wrong order. So while I read out the words, you can follow me and listen to the pronunciation. In the comments, please try to reorder the conversation so that it makes sense in the letters. You don't have to type in the whole sentences, the letters are fine. So we have A, attendant. Here you are, enjoy the show. B, customer. I'm paying with card. C, attendant. Sure, which showing? And remember that showing is another word for film time. D, attendant. Okay, are you paying with cash or card? E, customer. Hi, can I please have 2 tickets for journey home? F, attendant. Hello, how can I help you? And G, customer, 7:30, please. Okay, so which of these pieces of dialogue are we going to put first? And remember how we start a conversation. If we start a conversation, we always start with a greeting. So a greeting is anything like hi, hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. So of course, our conversation is going to start with a greeting. And we have 2 options. Oh, fantastic. So Olga has given us some suggestions. So she says, hello, how can I help you? Hi, can I please have 2 tickets for journey home? Sure, which showing or which time? 7:30. Okay, are you paying with cash or card? I'm paying with card. Here you are, enjoy the show. Perfect. And also, Ludovica, well done, girls. That was amazing. Really fast and entirely correct. Well done. Okay. So probably for our final task, because we're running out of time, although what happens after? Okay, perfect. No, we can finish these. So here we have 4 pictures left of snacks you can buy at the cinema. And a snack is like enjoy food that is not a meal. Okay, I love snacks. Probably I should eat more healthy snacks. But all snacks are good. And usually, though, snacks are only food. A drink is not really a snack, but for the purpose of this task, it's fine. So we have popcorn, soda or pop, sweets or candy, and chocolate bar. So again, a difference between British and American English. Sweets are British and candy is very American. I don't think British people ever say candy. I don't know anyone who uses this word. And as well, soda is Probably either, but pop is again 100% American. No one in the UK will say, "Can I have some pop?" Um, but something else you'll hear, which is really common, is a fizzy drink. So something that's fizzy is something that has a lot of bubbles. So which of these pictures match these words? Popcorn, soda or pop, sweets or candy, and a chocolate bar. What do we think? And also, do you ever eat or drink any of these snacks? I love popcorn with caramel. Nice, nice, but it's very sweet. I love sweet and salty popcorn mixed together. Because I think the salty popcorn is too salty, but sweet popcorn is too sweet. So too sugary. So when they're mixed together, it's perfect. Okay, so I'll just go through these answers then quickly while I wait for your comments. So A is, again, a fizzy drink. The only drink we have, this is soda or pop. And the metal that it comes in is a can. So it's a can of soda, a can of pop, a can of fizzy drink. Then for B, we have, of course, popcorn. For C, we have a chocolate bar or a bar of chocolate. Both are fine. And finally, for D, we have sweets or candy. Okay. So then, for the last task before we wrap up, what adjectives can you think of to describe a film? And I'm just going to leave this up for a minute and see if you have any of your own ideas before I bring up the suggestions. Because I want to know what you already know. How would you describe these movies? I will give you I think I will give you two answers, but only because we've already said them today in our lesson. So remember I said if something makes you laugh, we can say it is funny. So if something makes you laugh, like The Hangover, Olga said it's a very funny movie. So we can say something is funny. But how do we describe something that makes you bored? Or how do we describe something that makes you scared? What can we say? What kind of adjectives do we know? So we know funny makes us laugh, and Ludovica has put already funny. Exactly. So comedies are funny. Okay. So Lisa has put scary. Exactly. So something that makes you laugh is funny. Something that makes you scared is scary. And what about something that makes you feel bored? Or maybe you have a different adjective completely that you would like to share. So what do we think? And as well, if we remember our favorite genres of movies, so we had comedies, romances, science fiction. Okay, so we're almost at the end of the lesson, so I'll quickly show you the list and then I'll do a quick recap. So We have the adjective scary, funny, exciting. So if something is exciting, it makes you really interested. And we can also say that something is interesting. So again, exciting makes you interested, but there's a lot happening. And interesting is maybe it's on a topic that you find. Wow. Okay. So Lisa has said a boring film is dull. This is an excellent adjective as well. So if something is boring, something makes you feel bored, it's dull. If something is surprising, then lots of things you didn't expect to happen has happened. If something is sad, then it makes you maybe feel upset, or maybe it makes you cry. And finally, if something is so-so, this is also a good word. So if something is so-so, it means it's okay. It's not great and it's not awful. It's just in the middle. It's so-so. So then a really quick summary of what we did today. And thank you guys for being so interactive and keeping me entertained. So we looked at different movie genres, and one that's not on the list, but Ludovica mentioned, was fantasy, which is great. And we mentioned as well that genres can be mixed. So you can have an action comedy or a romance drama, etc. We looked at some different vocabulary that we can use at the cinema, so showtimes, showings, and film times. We looked at the difference between some American and some British English, and also at different ways to talk about the time. So 2:45 or 10:45, 8:30 or 7:30. Then we looked at an example of a conversation we might have when we're trying to buy tickets. Some vocabulary about snacks at the cinema, and finally some adjectives to describe a film. So yeah, if you don't have any questions, thank you so much, guys. It's been great, and I will see you another time. Bye bye.